The GST Council has approved the central government's sweeping tax reforms that will simplify the current 4 slab rate to 2 slab structure comprising of only the 5% and 18% tax slabs. The new structure will be implemented from September 22 and is expected to provide a boost for the common man as well as for businesses and industries. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman stated, and I quote, "These reforms have a multi-sectoral and multi-thematic focus aimed at ensuring ease of living for all citizens and ease of doing business for all," unquote. The biggest tax cuts have come on food, medicines, essential items, small bikes and cars, bringing relief for the common man. Aspirational items like television and air conditioner will come under the 18% tax slab, while luxury items and sin goods will see a heavy hike with taxes up to 40%. Relief also comes for farmers, with agricultural implements coming down from 12% to 5%. Now joining me on the telecast is Mr. P Goel, is the Chairman and Managing Director of Madhu Group and Conquerent Control Systems Private Limited and co-chair MSME Committee, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you so much for joining us on the telecast, Mr. P Goel. When you saw these reforms that were announced, do you think that this is a good counterbalance to Trump's tariff, and does this boost economy?
This is a very, very good step taken by the government. As is rightly said, crises create opportunities. So our Prime Minister has very wisely implemented this scheme of reduction in the GST of various items. This will boost our economy very widely, in a very big way. And the industry is upbeat, is very happy to know that the taxes on various items have been reduced so that the consumer gains. And if the consumer has got more money power to buy the product, naturally the MSME sector will progress and they will have to increase their production. So increased production is always a boon for the industry, and the government has taken very good step by reducing the taxes on various items which are of daily consumer use. And it will give a very good boost to the industry, MSME industry particularly.
And when we are talking about MSMEs, were the industry representatives asking and urging the government to cut on GST on labor charges to 5%? Has the request been met, or is that demand has that been dashed?
See, I will like to put it in some other way. Whatever the taxes the government levies, MSME industry never objects to the taxes. But the only thing is, the government must give a boost to the industry to grow. Now, for example, if we have to increase the production, that means we have to buy a new piece of land. We have to increase the capacity of the manufacturing unit. Now, if we are buying a new piece of land by selling an old piece, so that means there is a capital gain tax, which is the government is imposing to the tune of 20%. Now, this 20% tax, if it is given exemption, if the government for promoting the industry is not charging this 20% capital gain tax, as they do in case of real estate, in case of housing. So that means this will give a boost to the industry. They will be motivated to increase the production capacity to go for a bigger project. Second point is, whatever the industry is putting in the construction of the industry, so that is liable to tax of 18% on the construction cost of the construction material, of the construction labor, and of the contractors' billing. Now, this 18% that the government charge, we don't object, but this should be allowed as a tax input in the GST, because the taxes which are already paid and the industry which is coming up is basically for manufacturing of the goods. Now, if it is a part of the manufacturing of the goods, then these taxes should be allowed as a GST input. Similarly, the taxes and duties paid on the electricity bill, on the fuel, taxes and duties I'm saying, now they are allowed as an expense. But since we are paying it for the manufacturing sector, so if it is allowed as a GST input, so taxes, let the government charge the taxes, we don't object, but they should be allowed as a GST input. Now this will give a very big boost for the industry to grow, and everybody will be willing to grow by putting more money for the construction of the industry, for the expansion of the industry, and for the expansion of the production. So these are some of the suggestions which the government must take care, and they should help the MSME industries to grow.
And when we're talking about the consumption, do you think that all of these reforms will help in the long term, boosting any kind of consumption? And also, when we're talking about simplified registration as well and the relief for MSMEs, what exactly in the long term is the benefit of this?
The long-term benefit is basically when the industry is growing. So it is all benefit. The government has given the opportunity for the industry to grow. And when we are growing, then we are growing exponentially. We are growing in terms of raw material consumption. We are growing in terms of employing more people for the industry. We are giving more salaries to the people. The government gets, the revenue by way of income tax, sales tax, PF, ESI, and all sort of things, they will get expended. So government gets a multi-facet advantage by giving a boost to the industry to grow. So this will be overall growth.
And when we're talking about another question, the last question that I would like to pose to you is about the streamlined GST registration process, which is expected to roll out for the micro and small business enterprises by November 2025. What exactly does this mean, if you could break it down for our viewers?
I don't find any problem in that. This is a very simple form. And when we apply for GST registration, we get benefited because all the raw materials that we procure and if we buy under GST, we get the GST input. And on the finished product, we pay the GST. So we have to pay only for the difference in price between the raw material and the sale of the product. So I don't think there is any complication. This is a very simplified process and we are quite happy about it. Registration, putting people on the GST network is not difficult. The form is very simple.